So I have one last thing to talk about, and I didn't really know where to stick this, so because it has to do with a wave, I put it in with tsunami. And this is something called seiche, or seiche, both pronunciations are fine. This is an oscillating wave in a lake. Now, oscillating means something that goes back and forth. So this is a wave that's going to go back and forth from one side of a lake to another. And these can be triggered by some of the things that are similar to tsunami. They can be triggered by earthquakes. They can be triggered by mass movements, right? Landslides in the lake. But for seiche, the biggest trigger for these, or the most common that you'll see, are storm winds. So how this works is you get a big strong storm. Could be a hurricane. Up north in the Great Lakes areas, it could just be a winter storm or an autumn storm. And you have the winds blowing in one direction. And those winds then push all the water, a lot of the water in the lake, to one side of the lake. But then when the storm passes, all that water that got pushed in that side of the lake then races to the other side of the lake. And it kind of then goes back and forth for a little while before it settles down again. I used to love doing this in my bathtub when I was a little kid. I'd like scrunch up at one end and then push off and push all the water to one side and have it like slosh back and forth, and then my dad would yell at me. But anyway, seiche, right? Push all the water to one side and then it kind of goes back and forth. We can see that on this particular diagram. So this is from one of the Great Lakes. This is from Lake Erie. And we have 3 water level measurements here. We have Buffalo in this color. Now Buffalo is all the way on the east side of the lake. And you can see the water level rose. Toledo is on the west side of the lake. While all that water was going to Buffalo, it was leaving Toledo. And Cleveland's in the middle part. It's kind of like halfway between those two, so it stayed kind of the same. So this is showing you that there is this storm that pushed all the water towards Buffalo and away from Toledo during that storm. Now, these are big waves that wash back and forth, and waves can cause damage and be dangerous. This is Duluth, Minnesota. This is what it normally looks like, and there we have one of these waves from a storm washing over that area. And so this does show you that even though this is something you might not hear about as often, these can be damaging waves. I used to live in Chicago. Well, I lived outside of Chicago, but it was the closest, biggest city to like the tiny podunk farm town that I lived in. And there's a road in Chicago called Lakeshore Drive. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's right along the lakeshore. And when we get seiche set up on Lake Michigan, Lakeshore Drive would be closed because those waves, that seiche wave, would actually wash over Lakeshore Drive. I used to drive my truck on that because it was illegal and it was fun. All right, anyway, this is our random picture of the day. I just kind of like this, you know, tsunami hazard zone in case of earthquake. Go gadget legs, right? That's a way to get out of there.